Let's see how long this one goes, but we're back because I did do this one on my TikTok, like a review, but I want to do it here. And I look a lot better now than the last one I did. So in the previous video, I was talking about The Predator and how I thought that there was a book that did that whole like, oh, this person's killed off, and then we're like mourning the PTSD. It constantly being mentioned, so we know there's like a relevancy to that person dying, you know, and it's not just something that's thrown out, you know. And then the book that I was talking about is The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Armand. Yeah, I really like the okay, like, so the cover is meh, but like the story is so good. So I'll just read like the back so you guys know, and then I'll give it like a review because I think I can do that because it's been a while since I read it, but I remember really liking this because like at the beginning, it's even in the summary it's mentioned. So let me see. So it says, branches and stones, daggers and bows still lock the beast away. After the death of her sister, 17-year-old Violet Saunders finds herself dragged to Fourth Paths, New York. Violet may be a newcomer, but she soon learns her mother isn't. They belong to one of the revered founding families of the town. There's where stone bells hang above every doorway and danger lurks in the depths of the woods. For generations, Justin Hawthorne's bloodline has protected Fort Pass from the great, a lifeless dimension that imprisons a brutal monster. After Justin fails to inherit his family's powers, his mother is determined to keep this humiliation a secret. But Justin can't let go of the future he was promised in the town he swore to protect. Ever since Harper Carlyle lost her hand to an accident that left her stranded in the grave for days, she has vowed revenge on the person who abandoned her, Justin Hawthorne. There are ripples of dissent in Four Paths, and Harper seizes an opportunity to take down the Hawthornes and change her destiny. To what extent, even she doesn't know yet. The Grey is growing stronger every day, and its victims are piling up. When Violet accidentally unleashes the monster, all three must band together with the abilities with the other founders to unearth the dark truths behind their family's abilities before the Great devours them all. So even on the summary, okay, so sometimes authors give out a summary, right? And then like it's a pretty cool summary, and like it raptures, it takes you in, you know, and you're like, oh, this is such a cool like summary, you know. And then like you start reading the book, you finish reading the book, and you're like, what the fuck was the summary about? You know, like what was the relevance of this? You know, like you know, some authors are really good at this, some of them are really bad at it. I don't know. I think it just depends. I think with this one, I like that they mentioned the fact that her sister's dead, right? And then I was like, okay, so, and then I always hesitate. I'm like, when somebody's dead, like, and then they mention them on like the back or something, and I'm just like, okay, so what's the relevancy here? That's always my thought. I'm like, what's the relevancy of this person dying, right? So we get told her sister's dead, right? And then throughout the story, it is relevant. Like, it's relevant to Violet Saunders' powers, which, spoiler alert, is raising the dead. And it's like a huge thing because her sister's dead, right? And then you're constantly reminded that her sister's dead, and that her sister, them two, have like a close bond, right? And then you're kind of like relieving the PTSD, and then you're like, okay, yeah. And you feel sorry for Violet because her sister's dead, and it's constantly mentioned, and you can feel it as she struggles trying to like move on, as she struggles to figure it out, like what she's gonna do, as she struggles to be like. And I really like Violet because Violet is a take no bullshit girl. So I was like, yeah, take no bullshit, you know. I don't really like Justin. He's like golden boy, and I didn't really like him. I didn't like his mom either, because his mom is very like, ugh, I don't know. Also thinks she's a lep. I mean, she is, because she's like the chief, I guess, or like the cop there in the small village or town. But still, like, you're just like, I don't really like the Hawthorns. I think Harper's pretty badass. I think what happens with her father also is pretty badass. I really wish she had like a stronger agenda and be like, okay, so in the end, I guess like the reason why she hates like or she hates or dislikes Justin is because there's like a misconception or like a miscommunication between them. So she thinks that he abandoned her when it was like not true and something else happened. And then like I get maybe that is it, but in the end it's just like Justin's forgiven. I'm like, I wouldn't have forgiven his ass. I was like, I wouldn't have forgiven his ass for like taking away my memories. And then I feel like a dick, you know, like, I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't forgive anyone for like messing up with my memories, because I'm just like, why would you do that? Like, I feel like if you would come clean, it would have been better for us, and then we could have worked something out. But no, like he allowed his mom to take away her memories. I would have been like, nah son, like whatever. Harper's like dad was pretty badass. I think the fight between her and her dad was pretty badass. I like the fact that Violet stood up to the Gray with the help of her sister, like their bond. So I think that was pretty cool. I love the queerness that's in this. Like, it's very much what's it called? So like in a lot of books, they I love representation of like LGBT characters, but sometimes some books or some people, some authors, the way they do it is they make that like that character's whole being, you know, like their queerness revolves around them, or like they revolve around their queerness, and that sort of makes it very like hard to like, because I'm just like, queer people are queer people are normal people. Like, yeah, yes, representation, but like if you keep mentioning it all the time, I'm just like, sounds like a bit fishy, dog. Dude, it's a little bit fishy. And then so I'm just like, I think the way that Christine does it, like when we find out who's queer and who's not, I think it's a good way too. Like, we're like, okay, yeah, this person's queer. They had trouble figuring out like that they were queer. Yes, like we love to see people, queer teens, finding themselves and feeling that they're able to like express themselves, finally express themselves, right? But it's like not shoved down our throats. So we're like, it's normal, you know. It's not something that's like, oh no, like, you know, like, I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes I feel like that's weird. I find it weird when they try to shove that down our throat, and I'm just like, yeah, we know, like, but it's a normal thing. Like, queerness is a normal thing. Like, you don't have to make it out like, I don't know if I'm explaining myself. You don't have to like shove it down our throats and then constantly mention it. Like, you know, like, it's just the little things, you know, like, yeah, he's queer, like he has a boyfriend, or she's queer, she has a girl, you know, like just something like that. It's casual, it's like a normal thing. They don't do that with straight relationships, you know. So I don't know, I think that's one of the things Christine does very good. This is like a 2-book, what's it called? Is this a 2-book series? I haven't read the second one, but like this one, I devoured it. Get it? I devoured it in like 5 hours while I was like at work, because they were prepping for the mock star. So I'm pretty sure the other one, if I stuck to it, like if I started now, I'll be done by the morning. I'll be like, hell yeah, like new book review. But I'm not gonna do that to myself. But like, I really liked the beginning, and I left in a very nice cliffhanger. I'm just like, that's pretty cool. So yeah. Oh, and the author is gorgeous, so like that's a plus. Yeah, I really like the Devouring Gray.